Joining us tonight, our all-star panel, Sidney Powell, General Michael Flynn's defense attorney, Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch, and Just the News editor-in-chief, John Solomon. All three of our panelists have new books out. I'm going to recommend all of them to you, and we will present them to you in a proper fashion at the conclusion of our panel discussion. Great to have you with us. Let me start, John, with you. These reports are just devastating to the Bidens, and now we have the remarkable statement by the head of the Office of National Intelligence, the #1 intelligence officer in this country, saying Adam Schiff is a liar, in effect, saying that there is no Russian intelligence operation here. This is not a disinformation campaign. These laptop emails are for real, and their import, you think, is what?
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, we now have two things that we're certain of, that Hunter Biden was following in the vapor trail of his father's vice presidential jet and collecting millions upon millions of dollars from foreign actors, many of them hostile to the United States, China, Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan. And we now know, thanks to the good work that Peter Schweitzer did today, there's a separate batch of emails, not the ones found on this hard drive in Delaware, but that were part of a co-defendant's trial. We have to remember Hunter Biden's business partner was as a convicted felon. He was tried and convicted in 2018, and they showed Joe Biden was directly assisting Hunter Biden's business deals, even meeting with some Chinese officials at the White House back in 2011. It's a quid pro quo going both ways. Joe Biden is helping out Hunter Biden, and Hunter Biden is getting rich.
So the really
two of his partners both have been. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Sidney.
I was going to say the really troubling information that comes from all that is that the FBI and Department of Justice had to have had possession of this information for a very long time, and yet they've done nothing about it with respect to the most egregious perpetrators of these frauds and kickbacks and bribery schemes. No telling what all is there. I mean, if I were President Trump, I'd have both Attorney General Barr and Christopher Wray in my office tonight at midnight, if necessary, to know what the heck is going on.
You know, Lou, I mean, the president was
What do you think is going?
The president was so right, Lou, to ask questions about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And remember, they were so desperate to keep the truth out away from the American people about Joe Biden that they were willing to blow up the Constitution with this coup impeachment. Now we know why he was targeted. We know he was spied on. We know he was targeted. We know he was harassed, the president, to protect Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, who in many ways makes Hillary Clinton seem like an amateur when it comes to converting public office into private gain. You know, the question for Joe Biden, which he needs to answer immediately, frankly, FBI agents should be asking him this: did he get any money from his son from any of these deals? It's a simple question. It's what the emails and the text suggest happened. He can confirm it or deny it immediately. And he can't, and he shouldn't be able to get out of this week without telling the American people whether he was taking kickbacks through his son.
And the 10 held by H for the big guy, that expression in the email, distributing the proceeds of what looks to be an outright bribe of a public official, in this case, the Vice President of the United States. John?
Yeah, listen, those occurred in 2017, if you believe the emails, who had just left office. But remember, Joe Biden left office broke. If you look at his financial disclosure form in his last years in office, he had more debt, you know, $500,000, $1.5 million in debt, and almost no assets. He needed to get rich quick, and he did, because he gets millions of dollars. I think $20 million he earns in his 2 years out of office. Yeah. Hunter Biden is probably at the center of that financial scheme, and we need to know the answer. I think Tom said it right. Joe Biden can answer these questions. Did you meet with the Chinese? Did you meet with Burisma? Did you take money from your son? These are simple yes-no questions. They don't take a lot of time to answer.
And if the FBI was doing its job, it would already have the bank records of all that. They would have all the bank records of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. They should have all that information already. They should have been asking the questions already. They should have been putting a case together already.
And remember, Lou, Barr said,
would any of you take I'm sorry, Tom. Would any of you take Joe Biden's word or Hunter Biden's word for a single thing? I want, as you're suggesting, I'd want the FBI to examine their records and have the answers provided. And this is not a complicated investigation. These records are all accessible to the FBI, and there could be instant answers. What do you think? Tom, you were about to say.
I don't think the FBI should be anywhere near any investigations anymore. This is the second laptop they've mishandled. Remember the Wiener laptop? Now they've mishandled another laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop, by all accounts. I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust the Justice Department. I don't know how much more evidence we need. They can't be trusted to prosecute, let alone investigate or ask questions of anyone of the protected class here in Washington, D.C. Remember, Attorney General Barr said back in May he found there was nothing that they were going to be asking Obama and Biden about in terms of a criminal investigation. Well, did he know about this laptop back then? And if he didn't, why not?
Well, the possibility here that Attorney General Barr is going to step forward and react. You all know the Attorney General, and he came into this office with such high hopes and big expectations, and a reputation that was second to none. He has failed to do anything other than what the Justice Department has done for years. Let a case come before them. The next thing you know, it's an investigation. No one can get an answer because it's under investigation, and that investigation leads nowhere and accomplishes nothing. Sidney, if each of you would respond to that as we wrap up here.
Well, it's imperative that action be taken on this now. The president and the country have a right to know how long that laptop has been in the possession of the FBI and whether Attorney General Barr was told about what was on it. This has got to be handled, and handled right now. The American people have an absolute right to know what is going on here.
You know, Lou, we've been doing this for years. The Justice Department is the same Justice Department in terms of its lack of respect for transparency, the cover-up, the lack of concern for accountability as the Obama Justice Department. And if Joe Biden comes in from Judicial Watch's perspective, I don't think we're going to have much of a change at the Justice Department in terms of their attitude towards transparency and holding criminals accountable to the rule of law. I mean, the high-class criminals of the Obama and Hillary Clinton gang.
And it's a lot more than Obama.
John, wrap it up for us.
It's Hillary and Obama and Biden and all of them.
Right.
Yeah. So the Democrats have had a culture of corruption for a long time, and the FBI and the Justice Department have been the primary suppressors of the American public seeing the breadth of that culture, the breadth of that corruption, and they have 2 weeks to make it right. They should get us all the Russia documents. They should get us all the information about this hard drive. Transparency is the ultimate prize for the American public before they go to vote on November 3rd. It's a simple thing. President Trump should order his FBI, his Justice Department, his State Department, pony up the documents, answer the questions before Election Day.
Amen. And if they refuse, as they have in large measure, to follow the president's orders, the American people will have the answer that they need before they do vote. Tom Fitton, Sidney Powell, John Solomon, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And as promised, Tom Fitton's new book is out tomorrow. It's entitled A Republic Under Assault. We recommend it to you highly. John Solomon's new book is already out. It's called Fallout, Nuclear Bribes, Russian Spies, The Washington Lies That Enriched the Clinton and Biden Dynasties. We recommend it as well. And Sidney Powell's latest book, Conviction Machine, Standing Up to Federal Prosecutorial Abuse. She knows a thing or two about that. Her client is General Michael Flynn, who has been persecuted by the deep state and the radical Dems for 4 years. We appreciate it, and thank you very much.